It's a funfest riddled with rubber duckies and skull-covered swords. It's a clever poke at reality TV culture wrapped up in silliness. It's also one of the most polished, team-based co-op games I've played in years. I spent nearly 2 hours of hands-on time with a PC build of this hack-and-slash dungeon game, getting to grips with its demented world and the televised challenges within. King of Meat is part humorous fantasy with dragons and chattering skeletons, and it's part satire with a narrative built around the themes of corporate commercialism and the quest for celebrity. At the center of this world is a competitive reality TV show whose watchers want to see contestants overcome nail-biting challenges or die spectacular deaths. And you're the star. If you're in King of Meat, it's because you're seeking glory, fame, flashy outfits, and to earn any of that, you'll need to conquer all manner of obstacle course dungeons. Luckily, it turns out that putting yourself into mortal comical danger is really fun. I teamed up with 3 other players for the early game tryouts, or as I quickly came to think of them, descents into madness. We played a handful of polished levels, each about 10 to 15 minutes long. The combat moves are pretty standard third-person fare: light attack, heavy attack, roll. King of Meat makes a big deal about its glory moves, however. These are particularly flashy damage dealers that really wow your audience, driving your fame sky high.
Well done, everyone.
Equipped with these skills, we ventured forth into varied dungeons. Some were platforming puzzlers requiring coordination and teamwork to overcome barriers. Others had obstacles with more teeth, spear-filled pits and saw blades. Yet others were stuffed to the gills with waves of angry skeletons and giant trolls. I wasn't a huge fan of the puzzle-based dungeons, though I appreciated the teamwork needed to solve them. I preferred dungeons that allowed me and my team to really go to town on our enemies. It felt especially satisfying to see the more hilarious details of combat, such as a defeated enemy exploding into steaks. It's worth mentioning that all the dungeons I played were designed by King of Meat's development team, Glowmade, and the style and quality of other dungeons may vary dramatically after release when players begin designing and submitting their own. More on the player-made levels in a bit. I'll admit that King of Meat's gameplay didn't feel particularly different to other hack-and-slash games I've played, though it is clearly hyper-polished and fine-tuned to ensure that you feel cool when executing combos. But what really stands out is the skinnet and the silliness. Stakes raining from the sky upon completion of a dungeon. Or, most gloriously, the Meat Phoenix, a respawn point where your body bursts out of a can in a gelatinous blob. Ew. When you're not embarrassing yourself on television, you'll most likely be in the Iron Law Plaza upgrading something, whether that's your weapon or your fit. The tavern's bartender rewards gold for completing quests, like play your first dungeon, and this is the currency used for all things cosmetic in King of Meat. That's the reason you've entered this unhinged reality show, after all, so everyone can see how ridiculous you are. So put on some googly eyes or slap a pink donut on your avatar. Equip a foam sword or a shield adorned in hearts. Of course, there's more to your evolution than just style. In the plaza, you can explore your skill progress and unlock new abilities or stronger moves, in line with your progress through dungeons. There's one NPC dedicated to glory moves. I was so excited when I bought Cluster Duck, which let me throw a rubber ducky that then exploded into 50 more rubber duckies, and all those rubber duckies exploded into 50 more, and you get the picture. I was only able to play developer-designed dungeons during my time with King of Meat, but Glowmade plans to launch with tools so you can make your own too. They will be the same tools that the level designers use, so theoretically, if you can see it in game, then you can build it. Building is modular, so you can snap rooms together and then begin to fill each one with lava, imps, meat, or whatever else takes your fancy. You'll be able to jump into your level at any time in case you want to test out any of your own devious puzzles or traps. Once you've built a dungeon and can successfully complete it yourself, then you're able to open it up for other players. The tools are said to be optimized for controllers, which is likely to translate to intuitive building. I'm especially curious to see what community may form around the more popular player-made dungeons, and to see how Glowmade can work with top creators to sustain King of Meat for, hopefully, years to come. King of Meat isn't the sort of game where you need to be ultra competitive. I went in with no delusions of skill and had a terrific time. It's a solid online co-op game thus far, skinned in absurdity. A clever commentary on a culture that idolizes brands, former reality TV contestants, and doing it for the gram. A font of creative and social possibilities. And basically a giant sinister bounce house. King of Meat is somehow all of these things at once, and already looking strong at this early stage of development. While a release window hasn't been announced yet, Glowmade says that King of Meat will feature crossplay across PC and consoles, and it will launch with more than 100 official dungeons off the bat. Best of all, there's no paying to progress or paying to win. Everything you can experience is rightly earned. Stay tuned for more on King of Meat in the coming months. And for everything else in the world of video games, stick with IGN.